welcome to another episode of The Lids Off. I am your host, Lydia Carter. I am a middle school career and technology teacher.
Hey moms, welcome back to our podcast where we talk all things middle school girlhood, because these years are wild, wonderful, and sometimes just plain weird. I'm your co-host, Lesha Hayes. My background is in corporate training and human resources, but most importantly, I'm a wife and a mom of a teenage daughter. So today we are going to dive into something that might seem simple, but so powerful. Sleep.
Yes, it
She's
is.
gotta sleep.
She's gotta sleep.
Now, I know some what you may be thinking, oh, my daughter gets plenty of sleep, or on the other spectrum, she's always tired. Either way, sleep is just more than just rest. It's a secret weapon for helping our girls thrive during these transformative years. So we're going to break down sleep in 5 easy gems. Are you ready?
We're ready. And I'll tell you what, just not for our daughters, but moms, I want you to kind of keep this information in the back of your minds too, because we have learned that sleep has been termed the elixir of life.
Yes. And going back to, something that we said in one of our previous episodes is that our daughters model what we do. So if they see you getting sleep, they will get their sleep too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. So our first gem is the brain boost. So in middle school, we talked about how middle school, that those academics start to ramp up. There's more homework, more tests, there's more pressure. Sleep will help that brain process and store information, which means better memory, sharper focus, and improved problem solving. So if you see that your daughter is struggling with school, it might not be the subject or the teacher or the kids. It could be just her sleep habit.
Yeah, and here's what I can say. Now, we've known for a long time that sleep was important. I can go back to 5th grade. Yes, my memory does go back that far. And we were taught, you need to sleep and you need so many hours of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But recently, and I'll say within the last 10, 15 years, we know why we need that sleep and how that sleep behaves when it comes to learning. Kids need that sleep before they learn and after they learn. So before they learn, that's if that brain is acting like a sponge. When it has the proper amount of sleep, that brain is set and ready to absorb the information that's given to it. And then if it has enough sleep, it has the power then to put that learning, what was learned, into a file, into the memory. So sleep is important. We know without a doubt, unequivocally, you need sleep to learn and you need sleep to retain.
Yes. That reminds me of one of my daughter's favorite movies growing up was Inside Out. That movie is such a good movie. Even if you have not seen that, I'm sure you guys have. But it is a breakdown of what goes on in your brain as a middle school daughter or a middle school girl, what their brains are processing and what happens when they sleep. So yes, awesome.
So gem number 1 is get that brain boost.
Yes, brain boost. All right. Gem number 2 is mood matters. So when we talk about our middle school girls, we know that puberty brings a roller coaster of emotions. One minute she's laughing, the next minute she's in tears, and we just don't know which one it's going to be at any point in time.
Right. Yeah.
So sleep is going to help regulate those moods and emotions. And sometimes when girls don't get enough rest, they're more likely to feel a little anxious, more irritable, or even down sometimes. So a good night's sleep can be the difference between a meltdown and having a manageable moment.
I can say in class, when students are sleeping, and it happens quite frequently, unfortunately, but I know that they need that sleep.
Mhm.
And when I wake them up, I really feel like I'm the interrogator, like I'm the sleep deprivation person.
You're the bad guy.
I'm the bad guy. And it is kind of sad. So they really
Mhm.
do need their sleep, because now I know those kids respect me and care about me, but when I am interrupting their sleep, something their bodies know that they need, when I'm the one saying, wake up, that will change their mood.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
now I'm not the person that they like to joke around with and play with. They're the one that's inside. Now, they're not saying this to me physically, but
Right,
just their
right.
affect. Leave me alone. I am trying to sleep. And there's no learning taking place there.
And as a parent, we have to be mindful of that. I we recently received an email from from my daughter's one of her teachers saying that she was sleeping in class. And it's something that as a
Bad
parent,
mommy.
right, you don't wanna get that email like, "Why are you sleeping in class? I know you go to bed, or at least I think you go to bed at a decent time." So, if you get that email or text or call from a teacher, just know that they're not calling and saying it to be the mean guy or the mean girl or the mean woman. It's they really care about our students because
We
they could
do.
not call. It's like, that that teacher cares if they do make that call,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm. And there's sometimes, the name of this program, the lid's off. There are times I could take the lid off of my classroom,
Mhm.
and you could say, well, what kind of teacher is that? That kid is sleeping in her class. It happens
Mhm.
sometimes, because sometimes it's not a matter of, did that student go to bed on time? Could they go to bed on time?
Mhm.
And
Yep.
sometimes I need to let them sleep. That's my discretion. I'll stand on it.
Yeah.
Regardless as to who is peeking in on my class, I'm going to stand on that.
And I will tell you how I felt as a mom getting that email from a teacher. I'm like, "Oh my god, she is probably thinking, what is going on in that household where this girl comes into my classroom and sleeps all the time?" And I'm
Oh,
like,
that's a
"No,
possibility.
no, we have a really good household." Like, no, it's like, "Oh my god." So
We don't know
and
what to think sometimes. Sometimes we presume the worst when we shouldn't.
so yes, parents, moms, don't get offended by those
Right.
emails. And it doesn't, and honestly, that was my first thought, and then my second thought was, let me see what's going on.
Right.
What do I
That
know?
was
Let
what the
me talk
call was
to
for.
Yes, let me talk to her to see why is she sleeping in this classroom. All right. So that was mood matters. She has to get some sleep in order to get her mood under control. Our third gem is growing strong, which is interesting to know that a growth hormone is released during deep sleep, which means that sleep is literally helping our daughters grow physically.
And keeping them healthy as well. So,
Mhm.
first, I want to add, without going into a lot of detail, that deep sleep contributes to their reproductive health.
Mm.
It also releases a lot of the immune fighting cells. And again,
Mhm.
that's in that deep sleep. So now we know that deep sleep contributes everything to being protected from anything from the common cold to cancer.
Mm.
That sleep, there is a correlation between how often and how deep we sleep
Mhm.
and our immunity to many, many different diseases.
So that sleep, which is super important during middle school because those kids are germy. So we need our immune systems. We need our daughters to have strong immune systems.
I keep my own um, station of hand sanitizer. The
Uh-huh.
kids can't touch. I'm like, that's yours over there. This one's mine.
Mhm, mhm.
I'm like, Miss Carter, for real? Uh-huh.
All right. So our fourth gem is friendships and feelings. So here's where social life becomes a big deal in middle school. So sleep deprived kids may struggle with empathy, patience, and conflict resolutions.
Mm.
Getting enough rest can help our daughters navigate with friendships and with more confidence and kindness.
So I haven't taken the time to put sleep and that social aspect together.
Mhm.
So that's something I'm going to be more mindful of this year.
Mm.
It's that time of year where we're getting ready. This is the most exciting time of year for me. It's
Mhm.
like I think I'm more excited about school starting than the kids are. What can I do new?
Yes.
How can I surprise them this year? How do I make amends with the kids that really didn't like me at the end
You're
of
right.
school last year? What can I do to win them back?
Mhm.
But I will be mindful to take a look at those behaviors and sleep now that I've learned a lot more about sleep than I knew before.
Mhm. Okay, so tackling this last one, the gem of screen time and sleep. So
Hmm.
we have a saying around the house, if we're on our phones too long, or if we are on our phones during like dinner time or just on our phone, we say, "Oh, you're being a screen teen." So screen teen. So now we've called our daughter screen teen so many times, so she'll flip it back to us. Like if I check my phone during dinner, you're being a screen teen. Okay,
That's
so
tough. I never had to deal with that. My generation is so old where our kids didn't have screen time.
mhm, it's so different. And even, I even when I was growing up, we didn't have cell phones. I didn't have cell phones weren't around until I got to college. That was like, and when I was in college, this was like 90, 97. It was like only there were very few people who had cell phones. And there wasn't a social life. There wasn't a social media. It was just a cell phone. But now, you know, s- these
Mhm.
phones and tablets and social media right now can mess with those sleep patterns. We
Mhm.
have to now worry about the blue light from our screen actually delays melatonin production. So it makes it harder for our teens to fall asleep at night. One thing that I have done is really set a boundary before bed to help them wind down and get the rest that they need. But I am an unpopular mom with
Oh, that's
her
okay
phone.
sometimes.
Yes. I set limits on there. And moms, if you do not have limits on your daughter's phones, put them on there. Again, it's an unpopular vote,
Mhm.
but I would like for her to go to bed by 11 o'clock. Her phone goes off at 10. So she cannot use social media, she can't text, she can't call, no video. The only thing that she can do after 10 o'clock is text or call her emergency list of people in case there's an emergency. But other than that, it's like put the phone down and get some sleep. And I did read that you also need at least 30 minutes off of your phone before you go to sleep. Like let your
Wow.
brain rest before you go to sleep. Don't fall asleep using your phone.
And keep in mind too that these studies that give hardcore data about the benefits of sleep,
Mhm.
that's with 8 hours of
Mm,
sleep,
mm,
not preparing for sleep, but actually being asleep for eight
mhm,
hours.
mm.
Do we have any recommendations of how to get those 8 hours in? First, you said that screen time is going to limit, that screen time should be limited. I think that's key.
Mhm. I would say, it so my suggestions would be to, one, and this is off of the technology, but just, try to create a calming bedtime routine.
Mhm.
It's one thing to rest your mind from the phone, but you also need to rest your mind from the emotions of the day, things that's going on in your household. Our kids need to release that. So, try to make their bedtime calming. And one thing that I really try to do is, and I may go off topic a little bit here, but before bed, I try not to yell, nag, because it's, and if you have a teenager right now, their room is a mess. Okay. I don't know why these kids just don't clean their rooms, but when I go in to say goodnight, I always try to say goodnight. Let's make sure you say your prayers and just give that calming feeling. But I try not to go in there like, why are these clothes on the floor? Why are why is this? Why I can go in there and nitpick on everything, but in my mind I have to say, you know what? It's time for her mind to rest.
Yeah.
Let me just say goodnight and be grateful for everything that we have, everything, what say our prayers, things like that, but try to create
Mhm.
that calming bedtime routine.
I think that's it. The last thing you said was routine. I think regularity is king.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever ritual or process that you have to go through to make that bedtime calm, do it at the same time every day, every
Mm-hmm.
night.
Yes.
So
Yep.
they're going to bed at the same time every day. They're waking up at the same time every day.
Even on the weekends.
Yes.
Yes. Even on the weekends. I know it's easy to try to sleep in on the weekends, but if you try to get that routine in, get up, even though we're not going to school, we're not going to work, if you have a Monday through Friday job, but still on that Saturday, get up and be productive, and have them get up and be productive. Read a book, do some word puzzles, do something to keep their mind going, or clean that room when they wake up.
So there's nothing wrong with yelling at them in the morning.
No.
Well, it's
Yelling
just
at them in
before
the
they go.
morning is fine, yes. Just make sure when you're calm before they go before they go to bed.
That'll be the wake up call
Yeah.
instead of the rooster. It's like, get these clothes up. No, don't do that.
Yes. All right. So if you are wondering how to support your daughter through these middle school years, here's a good one. She's got to sleep. Start
She's
with
got to
some
sleep.
sleep. Yes. Thanks for tuning in today. If this episode resonated with you, share it with another mom who could use a reminder that sleep is a superpower that we have for free. This is something for free, a superpower. So I am Lesha Hayes, and until next time, keep showing up for her, keep loving her hard, and remember that moms, you've got this.